Please rise for the processional.
Good afternoon and welcome to Dalton State College's Spring 2026 Commencement Exercises. I'm Dr. John Futchko and I'm honored to serve as president of Dalton State. Thank you to the Dalton Whitfield Community Band for participating in our ceremonies and for the inspiring processional. The Dalton High School Junior ROTC program will now present the colors, and a Dalton State student trio performing as Beneath the Stairwell will lead us in the national anthem. Please stand as you are able and will remain standing until the colors have retired from the stage. Thank you.
March time. March. Left face. Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting, and air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there, still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? Land of the free. Land of the free. And the home. The home of the brave.
Order. Arms. Right face. Forward. March.
You may be seated. Honored guests, faculty and staff, family members, and most especially members of the 2026 graduating class, it is my pleasure and my privilege to welcome you to the Spring 2026 Commencement ceremonies for Dalton State College. I would like to introduce the other members of the stage party. Please hold your applause until I have mentioned each name. Stage party members, please stand as I call your name. I will start with members of the college's executive cabinet. Dr. Gina Kurtulis-Tartar, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Jamie Hall, Vice President for Student Enrollment and Success. Mr. David Lasico, Vice President for Fiscal Affairs. Dr. Kate Main, Vice President for Marketing, Communications, and Workforce Development. Mr. David Elrod, Vice President for Institutional Advancement. Mr. Ben Rickett, Director of Athletics. Ms. Lori McCarty, Assistant Vice President of Human Resources. Our academic deans, Dr. Kurt Thal, Dean of the School of Health Professions, Dr. Charlon Smith, representing the School of Education, and Dr. Randall Griffiths, representing the Dean of the School of the Arts and Sciences. And finally, some special guests, President Chris Green of the Georgia Student Finance Commission, our keynote speaker, Ms. Kaylee Boulware, our student speaker and a candidate for the bachelor's degree in social work, Dr. Forrest Blackburn, Associate Professor of Spanish and reader for our ceremony, Mr. Alex Thomas, Assistant Vice President of Enrollment Management, Dr. Tammy Rice, Associate Professor of Social Work, and as the senior-most faculty member present this afternoon, the standard bearer, Mrs. Laura Alton Swindell of Society 63, Dalton State's Alumni Association, and a 2020 graduate of the Wright School of Business, and Mr. Ethan Owens, Student Government Association President, and a Finance and Applied Economics student in our Bachelor's of Business Administration program. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. Graduates, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, I extend our heartfelt congratulations to each of you. We are proud of your dedication, your perseverance, and accomplishments in reaching this goal in your educational journey, and we look forward to your future achievements as you enter your professional career or prepare for further study. You are the most important group here today, and we both celebrate you and we celebrate with you. No matter what the future holds for you, the education you received at Dalton State will be a powerful asset, and no one can take that from you. What you have earned has prepared you for the next step in your life. You are joining tens of thousands of other Dalton State graduates who have gone on to lead productive and rewarding lives, and in the process have improved the quality of life in their communities, for themselves, and for their families and loved ones. Congratulations on a job well done. I will now invite Ethan Owens to bring remarks on behalf of the Student Government Association.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Student Government Association and the rest of the student body, congratulations to all of you who are here today. Congratulations to the friends and loved ones who have gathered here today to celebrate a momentous achievement in the lives of our graduates. Your support, guidance, and companionship are crucial to their success. Congratulations to the faculty and staff, as you are now temporarily free of some late-night emails asking for extensions or extra credit or all the fun things students like to ask for. But in all seriousness, we students and the graduates before you could not achieve what we have without you all. Your mentorship has truly changed our lives and inspired us, so thank you all. And finally, to you, the graduates, congratulations. You are all not here today simply because you passed some test and, well, maybe not some, but instead, you are all here for two reasons. One, the people in this room gathered for you all have chosen to invest their lives into you, not because it's expected of them, but because they all believe in you. You are their hope. Two, you all have persevered individually to achieve the most righteous calling of creating a better tomorrow for yourselves, your family, and your community. I believe this is the purpose of higher education, to create hope for a better tomorrow, and today you have achieved this purpose. So once again, congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Ethan. It is now my honor to welcome our keynote speaker, Chris Green, President of the Georgia Student Finance Commission, the state agency responsible for administering more than 20 student financial aid programs, including the Hope Scholarship, which I know many of you received. President Green has dedicated more than a decade to serving the state of Georgia in a variety of leadership roles, including as Director of Economic Development for the University System of Georgia's Board of Regents. I have had the opportunity to work with Chris over the years and know him to be a very thoughtful, humble, and incredibly clear-eyed leader who adds value wherever he goes and really in whatever situation he is called to lead. With a deep understanding of how education transforms lives and strengthens communities, he brings both expertise and a genuine passion for advancing student success. Please join me in giving President Green a warm Dalton State welcome.
Thank you, President Fuchco. Good afternoon and congratulations to the Dalton State College class of 2026. It is truly a privilege to be able to share this special day with all of you, your families, your friends, as well as the faculty and staff members who helped you reach this moment. I'm honored to serve as president of the Georgia Student Finance Commission, and if you're like most people I meet, you think the Georgia Student Finance what? But when I say that I work for the state agency that administers the Hope or Zell Scholarship, the reaction is always the same. They say, oh, I had the Hope Scholarship, or my family member had a Hope Scholarship, and suddenly I'm not just another state employee, but rather someone that helped administer $1 billion, and we become much more popular. But just by a show of hands from the class, could I see how many of you are recipients of Hope or Zell Miller Scholarships? Terrific. Can we give that a round of applause? I hope that all of you had a good experience and those account funds were deposited into your student account on time. Since the creation of Hope, tens of thousands of Dalton State students have received more than $115 million that help make moments like this possible. At the Georgia Student Finance Commission, we are proud to partner with institutions like Dalton State that are transforming lives through education. And speaking of Dalton State, I'd like to take just a moment to say a few words about your president. Those of you graduating today have experienced a season of transition on campus, and I know Dalton State continues to be guided by leaders who care deeply about students and this community. What I especially admire about Dr. John Fuchko is that he once saw a problem and refused to accept it. Years ago, when the Hope Scholarship was first created, homeschool students were unintentionally left out of the program. So even as a student himself, Dr. Fuchko helped advocate for change so academically qualified students would have access to hope regardless of if they came from a public school, private school, or homeschool experience. That's leadership, that's citizenship, and that's bridge building. I hope each of you will follow this example in your own lives. No matter what field you enter, no matter where your career takes you, no matter what success looks like for you personally, be a bridge builder for others. My own family has deep roots in the foothills of North Georgia. My grandfather was a mountain doctor who often took care of people in rural communities who didn't always have easy access to medical care. I remember one time as a young boy, a patient came in with a broken arm, and while the office staff was trying to get them to complete the mountain of paperwork that we all hate, my grandfather looked at the patient and said, to heck with all the paperwork, let's take care of the patient. And that moment has stayed with me ever since. Now, leading a state agency that administers scholarships and grants is not the same thing as mending broken bones or treating illnesses, but I have tried to carry forward the same philosophy: take care of people first. There's a poem hanging in my home that shaped how I think about leadership, service, and the responsibility we all have to others. It's called The Bridge Builder by Will Allen Drumgoole. My favorite part of the poem goes like this: An old man going a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. A fellow traveler asked him, "Why build this bridge? You'll never pass this way again." And the old man replied, "There followed after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been as naught for me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him." My friends, life is short, titles are temporary, but your legacy lasts forever. Every one of you now has the opportunity to become a bridge builder for someone else. Sometimes bridge building looks heroic, but more often it looks ordinary. A teacher who stays after class, a nurse who notices someone is afraid, a neighbor who shows up when life falls apart, a friend who encourages us not to quit. Even the simple act of remembering someone's name can make you a bridge builder. Your professors are bridge builders, your families are bridge builders, President Fuchko is a bridge builder, and I have no doubt that the Dalton State College class of 2026 is filled with bridge builders too. So today, I want to challenge you to carry that spirit into whatever comes next. I believe you now carry a responsibility to serve others with what you've been given. And the truth is, you do not have to work in government to serve the public. Every one of us is capable of serving. We are all capable of lifting others up. We are all capable of leaving our communities better than we found them. In a few moments, every graduate will walk across the stage, shake hands with President Fuchko, and receive a diploma that represents years of hard work, sacrifice, perseverance, and determination. And then you will move your tassel from the right side to the left side. And in that moment, while the tassel hangs awkwardly in your face, I want you to pause. Take a breath, smile, be proud of what you accomplished here, and then make a commitment to be a bridge builder for someone that comes after you. If you do, the people who follow after you will be grateful you crossed their path. Congratulations to the class of 2026. May God bless each of you in the journey ahead.
Thank you, President Green. I will say your leadership and commitment to supporting students across Georgia are deeply appreciated. And I think I statistically knew how many Hope Scholarships we had received, but actually seeing so many of you raise your hands was actually very quite humbling, and just very grateful for what you all do to ensure those funds get to our students so they can focus on their studies. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our student speaker, who is nominated by faculty and selected from among her fellow students for this special honor. Miss Kaylee Boulware is from Lafayette, Georgia, and she is graduating with a bachelor's degree in social work, an achievement that reflects her dedication, compassion, and commitment to serving others and, dare I say, building bridges. Please join me in welcoming Kaylee Boulware to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to stand here today representing my fellow graduates of Dalton State College. To the faculty, staff, families, friends, and everyone who supported us along the way, thank you for being here and for being a part of this moment. My name is Kaylee Boulware, and it is through blood, sweat, and tears that I can stand here before you to have the honor of leaving you all with a bit of wisdom prior to writing our next chapter. I want to recognize the time, energy, and sacrifices that we all have made to get to where we are today. I was unsure of what I wanted to speak about today, and I began to feel the pressure of perfection and meeting expectations. That's when I took a deep breath and remembered that I had the opportunity to speak to individuals who also understood the societal pressures of perfection. We are taught very young to make good grades, dress well, watch our facial expressions, don't forget our manners, and always say please and thank you. While these may seem merely common sense to a lot of you, I know that just as many of you understand how the pressure grows with age. We are told to dream big, but not too big. We are taught to be practical and safe in our decisions. We are told to choose degrees that will make us a lot of money. And looking into the crowd at some of you, who are future social workers and teachers, I can see that we were just feeling a little rebellious against that advice. It is because of my awareness that we all feel the weight of the world and hard times will always unfold that I wanted to take this time to speak to the strength of resilience. I became a Dalton State Roadrunner as a transfer for my sophomore year of college. Although I was changing schools, it was more than that. I came to Dalton State for a new beginning. While navigating a new campus, meeting new people, and figuring out my place here, I was also in the middle of a trial against my abuser. So, while everyone was settling in, I was fighting to keep going. How to get out of bed when everything in me felt heavy, how to show up when my mind was somewhere else, how to believe in my future when my past felt louder than anything ahead of me. This is not a story of tragedy, and you will not see me shed a tear, but this is a story of resilience, as I know so many of you can relate to. In the moment, I viewed these tribulations as burdens, but now I see them as milestones that helped me become who I am today as I stand before you. Dalton State allowed me the space to overcome and find community during the hardest time of my life thus far. During my time here, I have come to the realization that resilience is not about getting through difficult adversities. It's about deciding what you're going to do with what you are given. It's this realization that allowed me to find social work. At first, my goal was simple. I wanted to become a social worker to help children who had experienced abuse because I understood in a very real way how much those children needed someone. But as I grew as a student through my classes, professors, field experiences, and community, I had found purpose in something larger than I have ever expected. I have come to realize that helping one person at a time on an individual level is immensely powerful, but challenging the systems that harm thousands, that's revolutionary. And that's where I found my purpose. In order to care about liberty and justice for all, we must also care about the injustices that are still prevalent. As humans, we are quick to judge, yet understanding asks more of us. It asks us to listen, to pause, and to care. So, be slow to hate, quick to pause, and courageous enough to choose compassion. Now, as I graduate from this extraordinary college, I wish to advocate for change, to influence policy, to question the way things have been, and to create a community where individuals do not have to endure what should have never occurred to begin with. I will fight for a future where fewer people have to experience what so many of us have been forced to overcome. Dalton State did not only give me a degree, it gave me inspiration. It gave me the space to think critically. It gave me diverse learning experiences. It gave me the confidence to step into rooms where real change happens. It also gave me something that I did not expect: community. Through the Social Work Club, where I've had the honor of serving as president, I found not only peers, but lifelong friends who lead with compassion, advocate for the voiceless, show up for each other, and remind me why social work matters. And somewhere in the middle of all this, I became someone that I'm proud of. Too often, I hear people speak about resilience in a way that suggests they would not have been successful without enduring their trauma. But I want to make something very clear. It took a lot of darkness for me to be the person I am today, but that darkness does not get the credit for everything I have become, because I do. Because at every point, I had a choice to stay in bed or to wake up, a choice to become hardened by what I endured or to stay compassionate towards others, a choice to allow my trauma to define me or to allow me to become who I want to be, and I chose. I chose to crawl out of bed despite the hardest mornings. I chose to ask my classmates how I could support them when I felt I couldn't even support myself. I chose to decide every single day to make it a great day in whatever capacity that looked like. Although today is a great achievement for all of us, I want to assure you that hard times will come, we will lose, we will be disappointed, and we will have times of darkness. But please always remember that you have a choice. Every one of us here today have overcome something. Maybe it was something visible, maybe it was something that no one else saw. Maybe it was something that you're still holding on to today. Or maybe it was simply the small voice that kept telling you that you would never make it, and yet here you are. Which means that you made those hard decisions too. And that's what we will carry into whatever comes next. For me, that next step is social work, stepping into spaces where people are hurting, where systems need to change, and where advocacy matters. For others, it will look different. But no matter where we go, we all have the same opportunity to take what we've learned, what we've lived, and who we've become, and use it to make a difference. Before closing, I want to take time to thank some of the many people who are the sole reason I had the ability to make it to this ceremony. To my family, thank you for always supporting me and understanding the sacrifices I made to pursue my dreams. Also, minor detail I skipped, I didn't tell you about this speech, but in true fashion, I could not miss the perfect opportunity for a surprise. Mom, thank you for being the true epitome of grit and reminding me to never take no for an answer. Dad, thank you for showing me through your hard work what quiet dedication means. To my dear fiance, Wesley, thank you for always wiping my tears and always having a bad joke ready when you know I need to remember how to laugh. I love you all dearly. I also want to take a moment to thank my wonderful professors who not only educated me, but gave me guidance to navigate such hard years. I would like to specially recognize Professor Stephen Cooper for always having a warm presence and welcoming spirit. Your consistent compassion always made the hard days feel a little lighter. I would like to thank Professor Jody Pack for being passionate about the curriculum we teach. It takes a very special person to make analyzing research fun, and yet you somehow pulled it off. Professor Nicholas Delat, thank you for always being a deep thinker and encouraging me to find meaning in everything. Miss Patricia Finley, thank you for the great conversation, warm welcomes, and the colored printer. I hope you always feel recognized for the immense work that you do to support us. And last but not least, thank you, Dr. Tammy Rice, for pushing me to be loud, to take up space, and to never shrink myself for anyone. You have constantly reminded me to fear complacency, and because of that, I've learned to keep growing, questioning, and stepping forward with purpose. One of my Dalton State mentors left me with words of guidance during one of the most trying times I've experienced when he wrote, A cool breeze brings us comfort while a tornado can destroy. A fire can bring warmth and pain. Your awareness of this ever-changing balance brings you an opportunity that not all people have. I encourage you to find stillness and make time for it in any moment you can, and when you need to move, walk on the earth as if it is the most important thing you will ever do and enjoy it deeply. So, if there's one thing I hope we leave here remembering, it's this. The obstacles we faced were never the end of our story. They were the beginning of our purpose. And now it's our turn to take that purpose and turn it into impact. And finally, in case no one has told you yet, I'm so incredibly proud of each and every one of you, truly. Congratulations, class of 2026, we made it.
Thank you, Kaylee, for your inspiring words. I'm sure that you all noticed as the students entered the arena that they were led in by a fellow student who carried a banner known as a gonfalon with the name of their school. These students were selected by each of the schools based on criteria that included excellent GPA, leadership quality, and community service. The following students received that honor for tonight. Students, please rise when I call your name, and please hold your applause until both names are read so that each student can be recognized. For the School of Education, Rebecca Grace Murray, Bachelor of Science in Education. For the School of Health Professions, Brizeta Cassis, Bachelor of Social Work. All graduates this afternoon have brought honor to themselves, to this institution, and to you, their families and friends, through their efforts to complete the requirements for their degrees and certificates. However, some have exceeded the minimum requirements and have earned recognition as honor graduates. I would like to call your attention to the honor graduates listed in the program. Students graduating with highest honors, summa cum laude, for degree-seeking students, and with excellence for certificate students have earned an A in every course taken at Dalton State College. That is a perfect 4.0 on a 4-point scale. For those graduating with high honors, magna cum laude, for degree students, and with distinction for certificate students, they have maintained a grade point average of 3.75 or higher. Those graduating with honors, cum laude, for degree graduates, and with merit for certificate graduates have maintained a grade point average of 3.5 or higher. The diplomas and certificates of these graduates are imprinted with the appropriate honor designations, and honor graduates were awarded silver honor cords in recognition of their achievements. In addition to the silver honor cord, other students have received additional cords that represent specific honor societies. Each honor society is identified by a particular color, or in some cases, with a medallion. Please see your program for a complete listing of the various honor societies. And now, it is time to present the candidates of the Dalton State College graduating class of 2026. Will the candidates for certificates please rise? Will the candidates for Associate of Applied Science degree please rise? Will the candidates for Associate of Science degree in nursing please rise? Will the candidates for Associate of Arts and Associate of Science degrees please rise? Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees from the School of Education please rise? Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees from the School of Health Professions please rise? President Fuchko, it is my privilege and pleasure on behalf of the faculty and staff of Dalton State College to present to you these candidates. They have completed all the requirements for their respective degrees and have been approved by the faculty. I present them to you for the confirmation of their degrees and certificates.
Thank you, Provost Charter. And now, by the power and authority vested in me by the state of Georgia and the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, and upon the recommendation of the faculty of Dalton State College who prescribe the academic requirements, and as president of Dalton State College, I solemnly and publicly confer upon each of you the degrees you have earned as certified by the Vice President for Student Enrollment and Success and approved by the faculty with all the rights, responsibilities, and privileges appertaining thereto. Graduates, as a symbol of your accomplishments and the commencement into the next phase of your life, please move your tassel from right to left. All right.
Each graduate has friends and family present who wish to hear the reading of the graduate's name. So friends and families, please feel free to make some noise, hoot and holler to support your graduate, but please quickly finish so that we can share the name of the next graduate and their family and friends can hear the name. Graduates listed in the printed program but unable to attend the ceremony received their diplomas in absentia. President Futchko will now award the diplomas.
The following individuals will now be awarded certificates. Shannon Ray Cox. Haley Morgan Crump. Brenda Cruz Aldaba. Alexis Gomez. Giovanni Javier Gonzalez, with merit. Samari F. Hernandez Pacheco. Mallory Kayla Lane, with distinction. Cassie Marie Marroquin. Ashley Vianney Martinez. Carla Moreno. Jelena Beth Mulkey. Haley Lynn Phillips. Emily Drew Presnell. Vanessa Sandoval Barcenes. Kitsia Yvette Sepulveda. Mary Ashley Trejo Navarrete. The following individuals will now be awarded Associate of Applied Science degrees. Julia Brooke Boynton. Adrián Capistran. McLean Elise Chronologer, cum laude. Cami Leanne Counts, cum laude. Angelica Esteban Loarca. Carly Elizabeth Gassaway. Cameron Graham. Yuritsi Guerrero, cum laude. Juan Carlos Gutierrez, cum laude. Melanie Hernandez. Cristina Herrera, cum laude. Jessica Danielle Hodge, magna cum laude. Tyrus Robert Kendrick, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Lopez, cum laude. Edwin Najera. Natalie Brianna Nicole Newton. Kimberly Ann Nunez, cum laude. Michaela Francine Peters, cum laude. Jalen Lee Vick, cum laude. Lavelle Shunice Ware. The following individuals will now be awarded Associate of Science in Nursing degrees. Cassie Leanne Ailman. Christy Michelle Anderson, cum laude. Opeyemi Oluwatosin Badejo, summa cum laude. Peyton Paige Baker, cum laude. Melindy Ann Bethune. Mackenzie Grace Bohannon. Kaylee Madison Brown, cum laude. Jenny Lynn Casey, cum laude. Janet Chavez. Kylie Jules Clark, cum laude. Cassandra Amber Nicole Cochran, cum laude. Emily Ann Cornelison. Ella Annalise Daniel. Kaylee Madison Dickerson. Allie Christine Elrod, cum laude. Brandon Allen Erickson. Audrey Mae Gaston, cum laude. Andrew Gage Garrity, cum laude. Tamika Lequan Guz, magna cum laude. Aaron Kennedy Head. Yvonne Renee Jordan, cum laude. Katie Alyssa Keener. Alexis Nicole Lara. Summer Alexis Ledbetter. Ana Cristina Lopez. Rachel May Palaganas Lopez, cum laude. Colton Lane McLemore. Valeria Narvaez Melgoza. Luz Maria Núñez. Carlos Adrián Orozco. Shamika Michelle Parham. Christopher Brian Pruitt. Brianna Shea Reed, cum laude. Cristally Rios Espinosa. Brenda Rivera. Josue Rodriguez, cum laude. Brianna Natalie Rudolph. Ana Patricia Sanchez. Jackson Strom Sellers. Daniel Alberto Silva, cum laude. Catherine Emily Simon. McKenna Rickay Smith. Kiana Rochelle Spencer, cum laude. Lydia Annette Squires. Sydney Tatum Stallings. Joshua Ryan Van Eck. Rebecca Ann Marie Vox. Hallie Lynn Wheeler. Brittany Nicole White, magna cum laude. Alyssa Morgan Williams, summa cum laude. The following individuals will now be awarded associate degrees. Samantha Karina Adame. Esmeralda Alegría Chavez, summa cum laude. Karina Yasmin Cardona, cum laude. Isabella Kate Diedenbach, cum laude. Leonardo Guadalupe Freire. Mallory Reagan Gibson. Giovanna Guzman. Stefania Núñez Moreno. Cameron Zion Parker, magna cum laude. Megan Lindsay Partlow. Kelsey Nicole Pope. Hilda Betsabe Ramirez. Yahaira Marlene Ramirez. Shirley Ariana Salinas. Madison Rebecca Skelf. Donna Marie Sylvester, cum laude. The following individuals will now be awarded bachelor degrees from the School of Education. Rebecca Grace Murray, summa cum laude. Molly Grace Osmus, summa cum laude. Sarah Elaine Beatty, magna cum laude. Gracie Drew Burke, cum laude. Kaylee Ann Clower, magna cum laude. Shelby Nicole Coker, cum laude. Ariel Rebecca Joyce Davis, cum laude. Marquita Denise Dixon. Briley Danielle Flanagan. Stephanie Jacqueline Franco, magna cum laude. Genesis Lee Fry. Madeline Eileen May Gallman, cum laude. Dara Jade Gribble, cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Holguin. Annalise Rose Holly, magna cum laude. Destin Lachey Jewell, cum laude. Ella Brianne Keith. Emily Faith Knott, summa cum laude. Damaris Gabriela Lopez, cum laude. Emily Cheyenne McLeod. Paige Jillian Minter, magna cum laude. Alyssa Helen Payne, summa cum laude. Yaira Yasmin Perez. Ainsley Ross Quarles, cum laude. Emma Caitlin Wilkins Ridley, cum laude. Arlene Saray Rodriguez, cum laude. Karina Vega, cum laude. Emma Jewel Walther, magna cum laude. Christian Militia Wooten, cum laude. The following individuals will now be awarded bachelor degrees from the School of Health Professions. Briseda Casas, summa cum laude. Kaylee Tatiana Acevedo Cordero, cum laude. Brett Edward Adams Hayes, cum laude. Brandolyn Savannah Allred. McKinnon Cole Bassett, cum laude. Silvia Angela Borja. Kaylee Nicole Bolware, summa cum laude. Rebecca Leanne Bunch. Aline Celeste Chavez Sontay. Gail Lee Collins, summa cum laude. Nyla Marie Cochran. Cum laude. Lisa Carnes Downey, magna cum laude. Memphis Nicole Duisen. Kenzie Faith Farner, cum laude. Jennifer Flores, summa cum laude. James Reese Garner. Isaiah Michael Fagan George. Sierra Jade Gwynn, magna cum laude. Griselda Jacinto Lopez, magna cum laude. Emily Esther James. Paisley Noel Johnson. Susan Denise Kirby, cum laude. Bailey Alexis Martin, magna cum laude. Wendy Michelle Martin. Stephanie Laura Mullinax, magna cum laude. Kirsten Nicole Marlene Payne, magna cum laude. Edgar Pimentel, cum laude. Cameron Shane Prado West. Marissa Nicole Richards, magna cum laude. Shamaya Shanae Rucker, cum laude. Sydney Nicole Schaefer. JC K. Ryan. Connor Michael James Sims, cum laude. Juan Trejo, cum laude. Keisha L. Underwood, magna cum laude. Emma Frances Welch, summa cum laude.
Please join me in recognizing the 2026 graduates of Dalton State College. Commencement is a day of recognition. As they noted, First and foremost, we are recognizing those who have earned an academic credential here at Dalton State. All of us here are truly so proud of you and the work you have done to get to this point. Your achievements will not only echo through the course of your own life, but that of your family for generations to come. Congratulations. And while those present likely know their own graduate story, I would like to give everyone here the opportunity to know a little bit more about our graduates as a group. To accomplish this, I'm going to ask the graduates to stand and be recognized if they are members of the following groups. Graduates, please sit back down after being recognized. If you are related to another Dalton State graduate from any other year, please stand. Cool. Please be seated. If you played intercollegiate athletics at Dalton State, please stand. Any of our student athletes here? Not this time. Okay. All right. If you're a member of the Dalton State Student Government, an orientation leader, a peer tutor, an RA, a member of our Campus Activities Board, or served in a student leadership role, please stand. Please be seated. If you serve or have served in the United States military, please stand. I know we saw there were a couple of folks. Please be seated. If you graduated as a part of our honors program or with academic honors, such as with distinction, cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude, please stand. Please be seated. If you're the first member of your family to graduate from college, please stand. Please be seated. Finally, if you worked a job at some point during your time enrolled at Dalton State, please stand. Please be seated. Family and friends, you now understand a little better why we are so proud of these graduates and what they have achieved. I would now like to briefly recognize a few more groups that have been so meaningful to the college and our community. Dalton State has been a part of the Dalton community in Northwest Georgia for more than 6 decades. Since our founding in 1963, made possible by the vision of 4 local families who donated the original campus land, Dalton State has been strengthened by leaders who understand that our community's future is tied to the success of those who learn, work, and grow here. Campus landmarks like Brown Hall and Peoples Hall, the Bandy Heritage Center, the C. Lamar and Ann Wright School of Business, named for Lamar Wright, a Dalton State class of 1969 alum, stand as visible symbols of our history and progress. Add to that the Shaw Industries Chair in STEM, the James and Sis Brown Chair, the Keith and Lynn Whitworth Chair in Classical Education, dozens of endowed scholarships, and the Barbara Schiffler 76 Award for Business Teaching, and the message is unmistakable. Everything we accomplish is made possible through the deep commitment and investment of our community in our shared future. Finally, we want to give our graduates, so pay attention, the chance to recognize the network of support of family and friends that have helped to make this day possible. As I recognize each group, this is all of you, I would ask that you stand as you are able and remain standing until all the groups are standing. I will then ask the graduates present to offer their own thanks to all of you through their applause. If you are a family member of a graduating student, please stand as you are able and remain standing. Family members here today. If you are a friend or employer or supporter of a graduating student, please stand as you are able and remain standing. If you are a faculty member who taught one of these graduates, please stand as you are able and remain standing. If you are a staff member who at any point assisted one of these students in their path to success, Whether it's an admissions counselor, an advisor, a financial aid professional, or a groundskeeper, please stand and remain standing. Graduates, please give one final round of applause for all these people who have supported you. You may be seated. Now I invite Mrs. Laura Alton Swindell, recipient of the 2026 Young Alumni Service Award, to come forward to congratulate our graduates on behalf of Society 63, Dalton State's Alumni Association, and we'll wrap up shortly after that. Thank you. Laura.
Picture it. It's March 2020. I was a senior at Dalton State in my final semester of undergrad, just counting down the days until my graduation. In less than 2 months, I would earn my bachelor's degree. I had just accepted a position with the United States Senate, working part-time until graduation and preparing to work full-time afterward. At the time, something called COVID-19 was making headlines. But honestly, I felt invincible, like nothing could stop me or stand in my way, and I certainly wouldn't be affected by that. Then I left Dalton State campus for spring break that year, with no idea that the world as I knew it was about to completely shut down. 6 years ago, I ultimately earned my bachelor's degree from Dalton State, but there was no graduation ceremony, no chance to say goodbye to the friends I had made during my 4 years as a student, and no celebrations with my loved ones. Thankfully, I kept my job with the Senate, but like so many others, I was suddenly isolated at home, meeting my new coworkers through Zoom screens instead of in person. It felt like my time at Dalton State and my involvement in the greater Dalton community came to an abrupt and unfinished end. If I'm being honest, that chapter of my life always felt incomplete, but the circumstances were beyond anyone's, much less my control, so I moved forward. About 2.5 years later, I was working at a local law firm when one of my closest friends from Dalton State called and asked if I would be interested in helping launch the college's first formal alumni association. At that point in my life, I was struggling personally and professionally. I'd recently escaped an abusive marriage and was trying to rebuild my life from the ground up. During that relationship, I hadn't even been able to or allowed to speak to that friend who called me that day. But I will always be grateful that she picked up the phone and called, because that phone call changed my life. It helped me reconnect with friends I hadn't spoken to in years. It gave me purpose and community again. And ultimately, it helped lead me to where I am today, working in my dream career, advocating for children and families. Social workers, I see you and I'm proud of you. All of you are going to change the world for the better. I earned a graduate degree from the University of Tennessee. I own my own travel business as my fun job, and I'm ultimately happier and more fulfilled than I ever imagined possible. And none of those things would have happened without the relationships, opportunities, and academic foundation I built here at Dalton State. And that alumni association I mentioned, it's called Society 63, and I'm honored to serve as its founding president. It's also what brings me here tonight to celebrate each and every one of you. As you close this chapter of your lives as Dalton State students, I know each of you will go out into the world and do incredible things in your own unique way. But wherever life takes you, I hope you remember this. You will always have a home here at Dalton State. Through Society 63, alumni across the country, and even around the world, stay connected to one another and continue supporting future generations of Dalton State students. Membership offers opportunities for professional growth, community service, networking, and meaningful connection long after graduation day has passed. Joining Society 63 is simple and can be done at any time through Dalton State's website. Thank you for allowing me to share this evening with you all. And on behalf of the entire membership of Society 63, we are incredibly proud of each and every one of you. We wish you nothing but success and happiness as you begin the next chapter of your lives. Congratulations, Dalton State College Class of 2026.
Thank you, Laura. We will now conclude with the singing of the Alma Mater, led by our student trio. The lyrics are available in your program. The Alma Mater will be followed by the recessional. During the recessional, the audience is requested to remain standing until the graduates have made their way out of the arena. The faculty and stage party will also line the path to cheer our graduates on one last time as they exit the arena. Thank you for joining us in this celebration. Please rise for the Alma Mater and recessional.